key. Okay, so really love to have that information from you. So tell us where you're joining in from, while I'm going to play the profile of our second speaker. Okay, all right, so I'm waiting for that.
One of her greatest joy is watching zeros become.
Thank you.
Tunde Ekpekurede is a sought-after speaker in the field of mental resilience. His book, Realizing Mental Resilience, has become a go-to book for thousands of persons all over the world. He is an executive coach and mentor. He graduated from the Department of Civil Engineering, University of Benin in December 1989. Tunde has spent the last 20 years helping individuals, teams, communities, and organizations become more resilient, find meaning and live better lives. His foundation has trained and equipped over 1,000 adults through its graduate mentorship programs, adult skill acquisition programs, amongst several others. His football academy, which recruited out-of-school kids, has mentored, trained, and equipped several football legends that includes Daniel Ekpekurede, one of the goalkeepers for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Students from his drama academy have joined the ranks of Nollywood and are now making cinematic productions. All of these persons participated in the activities of the foundation free of charge. He has attended numerous training programs that include integrated project management from Harvard University in 2012, Boston, USA, Tversky Wellness Institute, New Jersey, USA 2015, Instructional and Course Design, Atlanta, USA 2015, Life 2.0, London, England 2018, and a certificate in executive coaching from the University of Cape Town, South Africa 2021. Currently Chief Executive Officer of Learning for Living, a management training and leadership development organization. He supports several persons and organizations as a coach, training facilitator and advisor. Tunde is a registered engineer Koren, and holds membership of several professional bodies, including the Nigerian Society of Engineers, CIPD, UK, amongst several others. Tunde Ekpekurede is happily married to Dr. Faith Ekpekurede, and together they have 4 children.
Emmanuel Kingsley Ofem is goal-driven, result-oriented expert in the media space, project implementation processes and NGO-connected development, especially in communications and photography, with over 10 years of accumulated engagements. His vast experience as a social media manager gave visibility to about 6 organizations, both local and international. He was the project lead on Youth and Women Political Inclusion and Participation, a National Endowment for Democracy, NED, United States-funded program at Young Leaders Network, youth-based nonprofit, in Bauchi State. A graduate of estate management and valuation. He has trainings on professional imaging, UI, UX designs, Adobe Premiere Pro and Facebook Blueprint. He has over 20 years of volunteering experience ranging from faith-based organizations, political spaces, students-based government and leadership developments. He currently specializes in public speaking, contents creation in photography, videography, post-processing and graphics design, while serving as a dynamic creative director at Ofem's Photography, a media outfit in Abuja. Ladies and gentlemen, on this prestigious platform, please make welcome our speakers and moderator to this month's webinar.
All right. You see, just like I told us from the beginning, it's a bumper package. All right, you know, and there's this saying I usually emulating most times: the bottom part, not the sweet part. All right. End of the year, a lot of activities. People try to sit down and do some checkmate as regards their activity, their level of growth, and all of that. And people use December, probably meaning end of year, to really plan better for what is ahead, and all of that. All right. So it's a very needful thing for us to do. All right. So it's time to sit down and do some evaluation. Try to check, try to rethink, try to re-strategize and all of that, so that you know you can track your growth process and see areas you have evolved, areas you have emerged, areas you're doing better, and areas you need to work on and all of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting further time, I don't know if our speaker is ready. Yeah, okay. The next person you'll be listening to right now, because we're going straight up into our first speaker for the day. So the first speaker for today, you've read her profile, is none other but my very own coach, my very own personal, my very own coach. All right, so it's a delight to have you, Ma. So ladies and gentlemen, bring out your pen, take out your paper, your notepad, and everything you want to write with, and let us have our first speaker for today. Thank you very much, Ma. Can I see some clapping in the chat room? Ma, before you say anything, don't hold on. All right, let us make welcome our speaker. You know, if we are having a physical presence right now, we'll be having some woo, 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 woo in the audience and all of that. So I want us to welcome our speaker. I'm not seeing anybody type anything. I know my network. Okay, good. Wow. Okay, nice. Okay, I can see those hands. Yes, they are coming in. This is what I'm talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, engineer Tumininu Adepoju. Thank you very much, Ma. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, Ofem. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I mean, today is just awesome for me. I've been looking forward to today, and we'll be doing this together. This is going to be very, very interactive. When they gave me the topic, strategic goal setting, I was like, goal setting in December. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, this is the best time to have this. And we'll be doing this together. I expect the chat room to be interactive, and I'll be looking through. Before I start, I want to, of course, I welcome every single person. You guys have been with us literally from when we started this. Gladys, I see you. And I don't want to call names so that I don't miss out names. My own very real family, you made this vision possible. I connected with a very, very interesting woman. And unfortunately, she said before now that she might not be able to stay till the end, but I have Toluwani all the way from Ireland. Those are Africans doing amazing things. We spoke for over 1 hour over this, and believe me, I've started. So please, this is the way. I'm not orthodox. My presentation has already started, so this is it. And I was connected, and I'll still be referring to this during the course of my presentation, but because she's here, I actually wanted to bring it home. I was connected to Toluwani via Noreen. Noreen is a Ugandan, Toluwani is in Ireland, and Noreen just buzzes me and goes like, and that day, Noreen will not allow me rest. Very tenacious young lady doing amazing things in Uganda. And she's just like, to me, there is this person you must meet in Ireland. I said, okay, send me a handle. Before I knew it, she sent me the number. Before I knew it, Toluwani was calling. Before I knew it, we were speaking for well over, I looked at my time and I was like, we've spoken for over an hour, and I'm just blown away with what God is doing and what is currently happening with people of color. It's amazing, and we are all going to be part of it. So Toluwani, I say a very big welcome. Thank you for joining us on this platform. I don't know if you are free to say 1 or 2 things. I know I didn't ask you before now. If you can, it's okay. If you cannot, it's equally okay, because I didn't ask you. You just came in, and I'm looking at the time. I felt like I could do this. Noreen is not here. Okay, she's not on LinkedIn, so I'm not sure it's convenient for her because she just had to join in. Then I have Anne joining us all the way from the US. And thank you so very much for making out time. Han has a foundation where she's doing amazing things equally with her foundation. I'm privileged. I had some people joining here because this is going to be very, very practical. It's not about you going away. You know, there are some of these things we come in and when we are leaving, we're like, wow, that is amazing. People are doing amazing things. Inspiration does not get you going. It's discipline that gets you going. So whatever we'll be discussing today, and that is why this is going to be done by everybody on this call. You are going to see yourself in it so that 2022 is going to be different from 2021 and every other area of your life. I have my own Mr. Tunde here. I told him, no, I have to speak before you so that I'll not be saying, as the last speaker said, I've had the privilege of being coached by Mr. Tunde. I have one of my other coaches in the house, Mohamed Lawal, an amazing, amazing, amazing fellow. And I'll be telling you, this is going to be very practical. I'm going to be telling you part of my stories before the meeting ends. And I'll probably be referring to 1-2 things from them. So without wasting more time, let's start. Can you see my screen? And is it on presentation mode? Can I have 2, 3? I'll be using the chat room a lot. Can you see my screen? Marianne from Port Harcourt, you're welcome. That is my sister from another mother. Okay, yeah, Soluani, I understand. So this coach thing, this is how I got title of coach, this 2021 though. And it's a title I just can't drop. Okay, good. So we're talking about strategic goal setting. That's the topic that was given to me. And as I said, we'll be doing it together. So can I have 2, 3 definitions? Your definition of goal setting. What do you understand by goal setting? Goal setting, 1, 2, 3 definitions. Remember, this is all about you. This is all about your 2022, not mine, not your sister, not your brother, not your spouse, yours. So we'll be shaking some tables, we'll be disabusing some beliefs. But before we are able to do that, we need to know what. Okay, Victory says, plans with deadline aimed at self-improvement. I like that. Plans. Please, there are no right or wrong answers. Remember, it is your definition. It is your definition because you're the one setting the goals for yourself. No right or wrong answers. Plans with deadline. Please, can I have 2 more? Make this interesting. Let's make it lively. This is how we do it. I read. This is interesting though, because I have Leah Rio says development of an action plan. That's goal setting. And I'm beginning to find this interesting because I thought I'll get like 10 answers, boom, or 15 or 20, because I assume that we've been setting goals. So what have we been doing? What do you understand? Okay, remove the strategic part. That one is big grammar. What do you understand by goal setting? We'll be breaking it down, basic, you know. I like, there's this book that used to go around, Engineering for Dummies, Software for Dummies. So I like it. Whatever you understand well, you should be able to explain it to a 3-year-old, 5-year-old. Okay, so let's move. We only have 2 definitions. Now, I have a picture on this screen. At least this one you can type in. This is the best way I'm thinking of to actually communicate goal setting to us. Even if you don't watch football like me, by association, courtesy of my husband and daughter, I'm forced to watch some form of football. There's nobody in this call that this does not look familiar to. So we'll be breaking down goal setting. So can you tell me, what can you see? What are the things jumping at you at this screen? Adepoju from Abuja, you're welcome. So quick. What are the things that are jumping at you at this screen, please? In the chat group, please. In the chat group, help me now. At least you can see the pictures, can't you? Okay, the goalpost. Emmanuel can see the goalpost. Speaker can see. Speaker is a lover of football. Penalty kick about to go down. Okay. Victory can see the ball, the goalkeeper, the goalpost. Ofem can see the field. Adepoju can see the football. Okay, yes. We are all correct. You know, I could have expanded it more to have a good football. You have dimensions drawn. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And for us to be able to set a goal, as the football match is, so is our lives. By the time we are ending this discourse, we'll be able to make some definitions and we'll be able to make some corrections. So as we said, everything we said is correct. You have the football field, you have the goalkeeper, you have the goalpost. If I'd expanded it a bit, you would see the crowd. But for the purpose of this discussion, for the purpose of my presentation, I'm focusing on three major things. The first one is you, goalkeeper. You are the goalkeeper of your life. Like, I can spend the next 2 hours on that, but I have limited time. The next thing is the goal. You have to be able to focus on your focus. The third thing is the parameter, the goalpost. Ofem added for us that there are dimensions, you know, there must be control. I'm starting with you, and I'll be touching it briefly, but Mr. Tunde is coming in, so I'll be laying just a short foundation on what we'll be speaking about, which is the uniqueness of you. Before you can define a goal at all, you must know yourself. I've had the privilege of speaking with a number of people, working with a number of people, and the biggest tragedy that seems quite prevalent in our generation today is the loss of identity. A number of us are living borrowed lives. We are not original. You're not yourself. You've allowed the society define you. You've allowed your relationships, you've allowed them to define you. You know, I speak to some people and I'm asking, so why are you not doing this? Goes like, no, I'm an introvert. Who told you? Who told you you are an introvert? And you know, thank God some of my coaches are here. So I'm giving you real life examples. The human mind, the human self can transmute itself to become anything it wants to be. Trust me, it has been proven over and over and over again. You are what you have chosen to be, what the society has defined you, and you decided to accept their definition. I'm really looking forward to having Mr. Tunde break down the uniqueness of you. Please, you can't afford to miss this session, because once you lose you, you have lost everything. You are running another man's vision. Now, please, if you are not speaking, can you mute your mic? You are running another man's vision. And most of the time, these other men are actually people we love. Our parents, our spouses, our siblings, our best friends, you know, they tell you that this is what you should be. But you've actually not gone on that path of personal development. You don't have that full definition of who you are. What is your purpose? What is your uniqueness? And I'll still be talking a lot on that. The next thing is the goal. I'm not a football fan, so if it's a football fan that I say, I'm sure they'll be able to break it down for you very well. But the few times that I've had the privilege of watching football by association. I see the way they go, like the ball is going now, it's going from Yakini to this person, he's going for this person to that person. And you see the goalkeeper, his eyes is on the ball. He's not moving away. When you define your goal, remember, it is your goal. And I'm shaking some tables here. At the end of the call, I'll be dropping my handles. I'm sure Mr. Tunde will be dropping his handle. Mr. Tunde is a very fantastic person, very approachable, because some of these things might need more clarity. You might need to get more understanding. When you don't focus on your goal, there is no way you can win the match. So I have people that are at least 20 and above on this call. That's why it looks like you're living life from day to day, year to year, and there is no difference. You sit down and you want to write your profile and you are confused. And you see some people in extreme cases, people actually commit suicide because they feel like their life is not worth anything. That's because they've been living other people's goals. They've been living other people's vision. And their eyes is not on the goal, because today, I see that a lot. My mother is saying that I should be this. My husband is saying I should be this. And sometimes I'm talking to people and I say, please just hold on. What do you want? And they start looking at me blankly. They don't even know. You see grown people in their 40s and they don't even know what they want. And I'm like, please, can you just go and check into somewhere and start redefining your life? Redefining your life. Who exactly are you? What are you created for? What is your purpose? What is your goal? What is your vision? When you know who you are, you know your goal, the next thing is there must be a perimeter. A lot of people miss it here. You cannot be a goalkeeper without a goalpost. And a lot of us, that's actually what we are. Goalkeeper without goalpost, everything is a goal. Every ball is just, but from what I know of football, in fact, sometimes I'll be asking my husband, but that's a goal. And I say, no, that one is offside. In life, there are rules. For you to be able to strategically write down your goals, you need to understand the rule of the game. You need to understand the parameter. You need to understand who you are. And your goal will define what your parameter is. Ofem picked it up very clearly. He said that there are defined dimensions. In life, there are defined dimensions. I see people running other people's race. You don't understand that your own is a marathon, this person's own is a sprint. The rules that governs the marathon is different from the rules that governs a sprint. You cannot run a marathon the way you are running a sprint. You can't run a sprint the way you do hurdles, that one that they jump over. It is different rules. In life, we have different races that we are running. And you must understand the rules of your own game. One of my great influence when I was younger, he used to tell us something, say, see, others may, but you may not. There are things that other people can do, but by the virtue of what you are striving to achieve, you understand your parameters. And please, this is very critical. I need for you to write it down. If your 2022 will be different from your 2021, you need to understand the rules and the guidance that binds your life. There are some games that because you are playing it, if you're a singer, for instance, I don't know if I have some singers here, they can't drink cold water. Me, that's the only thing I thrive on. In fact, I'll be swallowing ice because I don't sing. I don't sing. Muhammad Ali, the greatest, because he understands what his goals and his vision was. He's like, see, I must train every day. Do I enjoy it? No. But because I understand that I am Muhammad Ali, the greatest, I must. What are the things that you know that you have to do that you must do? What is your parameter? What is your defining parameter? Remember, this is about you. In life, we all have different exam scripts. You cannot spy somebody else. If you spy them, you're going to fail. Let me shake some tables here. I am known to be unconventional, and by default, please, if I have any atheists, just type it in so that I can break into your audience. But as far as I know, I have Muslims, I have Christians, and I think religion is absolutely fantastic if we let it do the right thing. But let me challenge your thoughts. For the Christians, for the Muslims, we go to our religious homes and we get all these fantastic prophetic declarations. And I want to do religion a bit because as people of color, we are very religious. So let's even talk about this religion thing a bit. And my husband will say that, I hope you can still hear me. I'm seeing my internet connection is a bit unstable. Can you still hear me? Okay, let me see it in the chat room so that I'm sure I'm not talking to myself. Okay, excellent. Yeah. And you know, okay, so for the Christians in the house, let's have all the different, what do we call those things for the year? You know, like this is your year of breakthrough. This is your supernatural acceleration. Can we have it? Can we have those declarations in the house? I just want to call it out so that we can discuss. You know, we're just talking. This is about us. Glory to glory. Yes, Ofem. We've had the year of glory to glory. Grace to grace. It's the only Ofem that goes to church here. People are, you're all atheists. Can I have like 3, 4 more? We are going somewhere, higher dimension. Me, more than conqueror, supernatural achieved. Excellent. Now, at the end of the year, if you will be sincere with yourself, because your 2022 must be different from your 2021. If you will be, my case is different. Yeah, okay. I won't shake too much tables, don't worry. But if you will be sincere to yourself, because I was going to my husband and I think we're moving. The amount of stickers that was on that car, honestly, if half of those things came to pass, I'm sure that guy, quarter of those things came to pass, that guy will not be driving that type of car. So we need to start challenging these assumptions. Now, the truth is, God bless our spiritual fathers, our imams, our pastors, our priests, whatever we call them. But those are their goals. For you to get a goal, you must have this defined perimeter. So if that year's goal for the presiding priest or imam is, my case is different. For your case to be different, believe me, in the next year, you must be ready to do things differently. It is not by dancing around and shouting around and emotions. Okay, you are going to get a lot of things from here, but please take this down. Emotions does not change anybody's circumstances. They are just a set of very excitable, emotional people, and we shout and shout and shout and scream and scream and scream on top of each other, and each year is not different from the other. If anything happens, it's just pure chance. It's not sustainable. And that is what this is about. I hope you've taken something from this slide. So now, I'll actually be sharing a short video after this because I want us to really be able to connect with this. Now, you would see that for all those things we said, you see people writing it and sticking it. For you yourself, what is your personal goal? And before you can have a goal, you must have a vision. Vision comes before goals. I repeat, vision comes before goals. Vision is what tells you who you are. Then you now have goals that would help you. Okay, I mean, I like that. I refuse to be emotionally enslaved. I told myself that at some point in my life. You now have goals that will help you achieve this vision. You'll be looking at men.
I'm just thinking of checking.
Please, if you are not speaking, can you mute your mic? You will now have goals that will help you achieve this vision. I saw them, Toluwani, and I connected earlier this week, and it was amazing. And I want everybody to listen and hear me well. Please. And everybody must believe something. You know, I see a lot of people that will tell you that Africa is the dark continent, this will not this, that is not that. I've stopped trying to change people's belief. It's what you believe. But however, know that you cannot be greater than your belief. I am of the Christian faith, and the Bible forms my thoughts and my actions a lot. One of the things the Bible taught us or teaches us is that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So if you truly believe that Africa will not be better, honestly, I can't help you. But however, I believe that Africa can be better. And I have been connected with amazing people doing amazing things. We'll be having Tunde come up, you can see what his foundation is doing. You need to see what Toluwani is doing. You need to see what Anne is doing. And Toluwani was telling me that, do you know what? Africa is coming out and Africans are the ones doing it. And I absolutely connect with that vision because I have the same vision. I believe that on this call, I have men and women that as I'm speaking to you, something is waking inside of you. You are actually discovering who you really are. That you are more than, there is more to you than meets the eyes. And you are going to get a vision. I learned that, I think it was in Stanford University now. And that is why this vision thing is very, very, very important. Because it has, your vision has to be far. You cannot be thinking, and that's why it looks like, we are tossed. I'm looking at time. God help me with time. I need to keep the time because I have, yes. Okay. You cannot be tossed up and down. Some of us, our goals is just, our vision, is not beyond 3 months. In the next 3 months, your entire vision is, let me be able to make one big deal and I've closed a deal of $1,000 and I've arrived. At what destination? But when you have a vision that is far-reaching, that is beyond you, you can see the write-up under that. Write something that should not be forgotten. When people look at your vision, the next generation is ready to carry it. That's what we call transgenerational blessing. Not that you are sitting down, your street does not even know that you exist. Your biggest ambition is that it is Christmas period. Let me be able to drive a car to the village. That's why it looks like we are not going far. But we thank God for this new generation of Africans that is changing the translation. We are changing the narrative. And I heard of this experiment that was done on a group of graduates from the Stanford University, I think. And they picked a group of them to write down their visions. The first set of people wrote their visions for 5 years. The second set of people wrote their vision for 10 years. The next one wrote for 15 years. The fourth set wrote for 25 years. After 25 years, when they picked the same set of people, it was discovered that the people that could think the farthest had the best results. And that's just what life is. That's just what life is, as far as your eyes can see. A lot of us are too short-sighted. Sorry, I'm a very blunt speaker, but I think it's very necessary. We are talking about goal setting and it's your goal. So if you don't think that you are short-sighted, it's fine. But if you think that, you need to expand your mind, you need to expand your mind. You need to think of the next generation, 5, 20, 25 generations ahead. Winston Churchill is one of, unarguably, the greatest leaders that we've seen in the world. And when you look at his speech, when he was facing Hitler, when he looked at the army, he told them that, see, this battle you are fighting, it is not a battle for you and I. It is a battle for our next generation, so that our next generation will not be in slavery. And it was like, see, we will fight in the hills, we will fight in the rivers, we will fight everywhere, we will fight with our last blood. And those guys went fighting because they understood that they were fighting for something that was bigger than them. The question is, this your goals, this your ambition, this your vision. If you achieve it, what benefits will it give to mankind? just that they will give you chieftaincy title in your village. That is what all your life will be about. Please permit me to play, because I have to play this short video. It's a very short video, but it's going to drive home my point. 1 second. Are we still here? Is it getting hard? Is it getting easy? Is it? Are you enjoying it? Let me see you in the chat room. Or it's too intense. It's 2022. Our 2022 has to be better than our 2021. And the only way it can be better is we have to do something differently. They say another definition for insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Okay.
Knowing me the little you know me now, what am I? But you know, I think about this, and what about this internet thing? Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly?
Well, it's become a place where people are publishing information.
Right.
So everybody can have their own homepage. Companies are there. The latest information. It's wild what's going on. You can send electronic mail to people. It is the big new thing.
Yeah, but you know, it's easy to criticize something you don't fully understand, which is my position here.
Go ahead.
But I can remember a couple of months ago, there was like a big breakthrough announcement that on the internet or on some computer deal, they were going to broadcast a baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer. And I just thought to myself, does radio ring a bell? You know what I mean?
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
It's not a huge difference.
What is the difference?
But you can listen to the baseball game whenever you want.
All right.
Too.
Oh, I see. So it's stored in one of your memory deals,
Exactly.
and then you can come
That's
back
the
a year
RAM
later.
thing you talked about earlier.
Yeah. Do tape recorders ring a bell? Yeah, I just don't know. What can you, just knowing me the little you know me now, what am I missing here? What do I need?
Well, if you want to learn about the latest cigars or auto racing statistics.
Well, you know, I've got that covered. I subscribe to 2 British magazines devoted entirely to motorsports, and I call the Quaker State Speed Line about 2 times a half hour. So now, would the computer give me more than I'm getting that way?
Oh, you can find other people who have the same unusual interests you do, and
You mean the troubled loner chat room on the internet?
absolutely.
Okay, so that is a man with a vision. Like, I absolutely love Bill Gates. Let me stop this. Sorry. I absolutely love Bill Gates. That was 1995 here. That was Bill Gates trying to explain the internet, and you can see people's reaction. The same internet has connected you and I, because somebody somewhere, we wouldn't have been having this webinar if somebody didn't think that. We would have traditionally still had to be limited to our silos. I wouldn't have met Toluwani, I wouldn't have met Noreen, and a whole load of people. That would have been no read. That is what somebody's vision has brought. And you can see the questions. Okay, so you say, how is it different from this? How is it different from that? That's how you know a man with a vision. And with the vision, the goals are coming up. And that's why I said, you know, the first thing is you must have a vision, and let your vision, you can't, a major problem a number of us have is that our dreams are too small, very mediocre. If I ask for some dreams now, it is to sell, and please, with no insults to anybody, you are probably thinking of how to sell to your local community. I'm trying to get this thing back on the slideshow. Excellent. So that is it. I'm looking at the time. The next thing, remember, I'm saying your 3 W's. I've spoken about you. Who are you? You must know who you are. When a child is born, a child is born blind, what happens is that life writes on that child. Your situation, your circumstances, your upbringing, everything writes on you to define the you that you think you are. So now you now start going like, oh no, I'm an introvert, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a that, I'm a that. Who told you that? You need to look at what you want to achieve and look at the things you need, the skill sets you need to achieve those skills and get it. As I said, I'm looking forward to Mr. Tunde's unique you. Now, there are things that looks like it's effortless to some people, but believe me, everybody works hard. Everybody works hard. Every superstar will tell you that genius is overrated. In fact, superstars will tell you that genius is 1% talent, 99% perspiration. It's hard work. So for the sake of this conversation, let me talk about me. Growing up, and I throw this challenge to parents. Growing up, I could talk for the whole of West Africa. You know, I was a chatterbox. I would ask questions. Why is this like this? Why is that like that? The community and the environment where I grew up, it was quite traumatic for my mother. Tumininu, you are a woman. Women don't talk. Women get married and they shut up and they stay in their husband's house, labels. They stay in their husband's house and they do what their husband tells them. My dad would tell me, and my parents are fantastic people. I love them to the moon and back. But I want us to be as real as possible so that we can connect. And you can look at some things that define you. And some of you need to break some shackles so that the world can enjoy you. The same way the world has been able to enjoy Bill Gates. Bill Gates, by the way, Microsoft, that dream that he has, it has produced over 3 billion, over 3 billionaires, over 12 millionaires, and it has produced over 14.7 million jobs. One mass vision. What will your own vision produce? Just one man, and he kept building on it. I remember when I said I wanted to study engineering, my dad was like, come here. You're already showing masculine traits. Now, you now want to study engineering, just become man. And men will be running away. But then the fact I was too young, like, see, if marriage is about one man sitting there telling me what to do, thank you very much. I think I don't really like this marriage character. And I won't forget, way back then I was very young. I think I was in like primary school or junior secondary. I started looking for high-driven career women. And I remember Professor Alele Williams. She was, I think, the first female vice chancellor, I might be wrong, in Uniben then. Uncle Tunde, I'm correct, Abi. And I told her, I carried it, I went to go and show my dad. Dad, see, there is a female professor, there's a vice chancellor. My father said, this one is not married. Go and find another person to emulate. But what am I trying to say? Labels. What are those things that are trying to put you into a box and is stopping you from being who you are? What is that thing that comes naturally to you? When it comes naturally to you, the fact that it's natural to you does not mean that it will automatically escalate you. Remember, we are talking about goal settings now. It will automatically escalate you to the top. It just simply means that you are a diamond in the rough. You are an unrefined gold. You need to work on it. When I discovered that, talking is not my being able to talk was not a disadvantage. It can be used as an advantage. I started getting coaches. I started taking lessons. I started reading books so that I can become engaging and I can have people listen when I talk. And on the reverse, because I know I have the tendency to talk, when I come home as a wife, when I look at something that normally I would have given a piece of my mind, one of my senior friends will say, as a woman, you just look for soup to leak. Throw something in your mouth and start, this is not the time to open that mouth and start displaying that character. So you look, what is that thing that you can do well? Who are you? What are you created for? Your next W in this 2022 is going to be, what community are you building? If you missed last month's webinar, believe me, you missed a lot. You have to go back, go and listen to it, because I can't say everything. It was a whole topic we took. But the bottom line is, your network is your net worth. You cannot grow beyond the community you are in. There are some of you that the reason why you are not growing, your goal is being dampened, is because of the kind of people that are around you. I salute men like Mohamed Lawal. I'm so happy to have him on this call. You know, when I started getting this like, oh, I want to talk, I want to host webinar, you know, there was this part that was like, people just think you want to show up. Oh. And I was having this conversation with him that, sir, really, you know, I really want to do this. I think I can impart knowledge, I can do this, I can do that. And I won't forget, this is the first time I'm actually acknowledging that advice, and I'm happy I have the privilege to acknowledge it on an international platform, because the encouragement brought this. And it was like, you know, you are building your brand. You're building your brand. I told my husband that there are some other people you will share that thing with. They will tell you, you want to just, you know, by the time, you know, there are people that are dream killers. No matter how big that dream is, when you go and talk to them, they will feel, in fact, examples that you do not know exist, they are encyclopedias of negative examples. What kind of community are you building? All of us have fears, all of us have our weaknesses, all of us have our battles we are facing. Why would you surround yourself with people that would make you feel worse? People that will bring you down. And you expect, it's not strategic. And you are the one building this community. Remember, I said you are the goalkeeper of your life. This is about you. What kind of community are you building? Then lastly, what value are you creating to the world? After this, I'm sure we are going to have very strategic goals. Because there are some of us that, and see, you would see it in one of my slides. Money attracts value. One of the things we teach heavily in Read is that money is called currency. Current, it moves. Money moves, it's fluid, it's not static. So a lot of us, what we are chasing is money, and that is why it looks like that money is running far from us. We are just chasing coins. Because what you are chasing is an ideology, is a concept. But when you are valuable, it is automatic. Money will come to you. It attracts. It is law of attraction. It must come to you. So you are asking yourself, what value are you creating to the world? I'm sure I have some businessmen on this call. When they ask you, what's your 2022 ambition? Hey, I want to grow a 6 digits. Like, seriously? That is why you've been trying to grow that 6 digits for the past 5 years. But when you turn it around and you are creating value, there is no way that money will not come. Remember in Read, and this is why we talk about money. He that pays the piper pays the tune. It takes money to do anything. So our vision is that we are raising ethical millionaires, people that can give $1 million in any currency. So we broke that barrier. We are not a local community. Any currency they are earning in. And I'm so happy that I have quite a number of people that are doing wonderful things here. And I tell people that, see, the fact that you are doing something does not make you a beggar. You are not moving up and down. And honestly, and I'm looking at the time, Uncle Tunde, I'm not encroaching into your time. Yeah, it's another thing that we need to disabuse our mind of. Why must you be the one that is always collecting aids? Collecting aids. I keep saying, if I enter government, honestly, believe me, I will shut down foreign aids. Let us be hungry and look inwards. Why must they always be giving you? Why can't you give? What's wrong with you? Yes, I love this. We are talking about what value can you create to the world. Now, I picked some top values, some top brands. And I want you to start thinking. These are brands that were created by men like you and I. Flesh. Remember, we are talking about strategic goal setting. No, I don't want you to lose focus on the focus. Because you will be setting your goals, but you are going to be setting goals that matters. Your goal setting this year is going to be different because your 2022 is going to be different. Now, you see Harvard. Harvard says that they want to develop leaders who will one day make a global difference. So when you understand that the kind of leaders that you are developing, they are not local people. They are not people that are doing community difference. The way you will strategize, your strategy will be different. I've told you that money comes to value. Please, for all these companies that you can see here, look at it all. I want you to really look at it and think about it. Now go and look at their value, their net worth. It's all about vision. And you are the vision owner of your life. You are the visioneer, the visionary of your life. If you cannot see, and if you are in third world Africa, I try not to say that you are even more disadvantaged. But as someone said, which is the truth, please don't think anybody is doing night vigil on your matter on how to better your life. So when you understand that nobody is doing night vigil on how to better your life, there is no strategic summit on how to move Tumininu forward. Then Tumininu's brain will wake up and understand that if my life has to move forward, I have to do night vigil on my own matter. And that is what we are talking about here. How you are going to make goals that matter, and you will stop whining and complaining about things that will not. You've been complaining for 40 years, you never tire. Now, Netflix. Netflix says helping content creators around the world, not these people. Helping content creators around the world to find a global audience. They understand that you are their market. You don't have market. Your biggest market is how to be contending with your next door neighbor on your street. When the world is a global, we just reduced ourselves to what is really not helping us. We need to tell ourselves the truth. Sorry, this is where we are on Reader. This is the first time I'm taking a class, a global class. My read people are used to the way I talk. So if you are hearing me for the first time, enjoy the ride. The next thing is Microsoft. A computer on every desk and in every home. So honestly, you will find it difficult to convince me that Bill Gates is not a good man. You will find it's an argument that might take us forever. Because when you look at the kind of value that man has put in the world, I just believe that, meanwhile, and I love Nigeria, my dad had Nigeria, but it pains me when I hear some things. We've once had a minister that said, telephone is for the rich. Hello? But it is good. Anybody can say anything. That is what he knows. So a man cannot give more than what he knows. So I will not weep over that one. The question is you, what are you saying? Anybody can say anything. You, what are you saying? What vision are you seeing? And look at all these companies, they started small. I will still do a bit of religion here. I've not seen anybody affirmed to be an atheist here. For the Christians and the Muslims, I keep saying that let's leave if Jesus is the Son of God or is not the Son of God. The question is, did he exist or did he not exist? Now, if you agree with me that he existed, let's look at his antecedents, his history. History has it that is a carpenter's son. How does a carpenter's son create an ideology that has lasted thousands of years? Ask yourself that. Vision. We had the privilege of studying the life of Prophet Muhammad, I think sometime in May, and it was amazing. Prophet Muhammad equally came from a very humble background. Nobody can downplay the effect of Islam till tomorrow. Vision. So when I hear people say that it is because my father is not this, or it's because my mother is not that, I look at them and I tell them that, see, what you are saying is actually against the very tenet of the religion you believe in. If you look at the rock from which you were cut from, whether you be a Christian or you be a Muslim, whoever you are following, same thing, go to Buddhism, vision. Anywhere you see vision, if you see a man that understands where he's going and where he's going, that vision is bigger than him. His goal is bigger than him. The world makes way for such a man. We go to Google, your best friend. Google says their vision is to organize the world's information, the world, and make it universally accessible and useful. And believe me, for all of these people, if you try and check their operations, they have perimeters, they have things that is controlling them. Others may, I may not. It is convenient for other people to do it, but me, I must wake up at 3 o'clock. Me, I must wake up at 4 o'clock. LinkedIn, to connect the world's professionals, to make them more productive and successful. I had to learn LinkedIn. One of the speakers we've had on this platform, she's a visibility expert. She's the kind of money she's calling on that LinkedIn. Let's leave that one. Tesla, our own Elon Musk, world richest. Our own Elon Musk, world richest. This is it. Accelerate the advent of sustainable transport by bringing Tesla shares, by the way, did over 100% this year. You have PayPal, the world's most convenient, secured, cost-effective payment. Then I got something from Africa. Give it up from Africa. This is Ethiopian Airlines, to become the most competitive and leading aviation group in Africa. These are vision statements. What is yours? So I'm sure you are getting your paper and biro. I've spoken so much about the fact that we allow other people define us. And I just want to share this quote with us. It says, a lot of people spend their whole life climbing the ladder of success, only to find out when they reach the top that the ladder was leading on the wrong one. I think this is the biggest tragedy of our time. I was having a conversation with a senior friend, and she was telling me about her husband. As I told you, for me, it is real life, real people. The man was a medical doctor. He grew to be a consultant. He had his own practice, and he slept and he woke up one day and he closed down the hospital. And he said he never wanted to be a doctor. The only reason why he was a doctor was because his family was the only son, he knew he was good in sciences, and they felt like he had to be a doctor. So he wanted to please his parents, so he was a doctor. He got married as a doctor, he had his children as a doctor, over 20-something years. And he closed it down, and guess what he did? He became a farmer. He went to open a farm. He said because he realized that that is what he had always wanted to do. And you know, it broke my heart. It broke my heart. So the question is, what do you want? And the earlier you make a turnaround, this self-discovery, the better for you. So what's the focus area? I'm not doing good on time. What's the focus area? I wanted to really lay that foundation. I can really rush through the rest of the slides. So when you're defining your goal, I've spoken about vision. So now, when you're defining your goals traditionally, this is what we call the wheel of life. Your goal traditionally should fall within any of these 6 wheels. Financial, your career, your mental, educational. What value are you adding to yourself in this new year? How many courses would you write? How many exams would you write? How many trainings would you take? Your health. How many days a week will you dedicate to exercise? Social, cultural. We are a community of people. What would you do? Spiritual. We're a very spiritual set of people. What are you doing about your spiritual life? Your family and home. My family takes a very big part in my goals, my targets. I need to make out time for them. Whatever, see, anything you feel. The one thing I'm going to tell you about this slide is look at it and keep. Remember that it is your goals. Now, if you try to juggle everything together, you will be spread very thin. So some would naturally carry more weight than the other. So look at what is weightier for you. And whatever is weightier for you, please feed it. Whatever you do not feed will automatically die. That will die of starvation. So you have to consciously give out time to feed this. Now, I assume that, and that is why I actually took more time on the first slides. I'm working under the assumption that we all know what SMART goals are. And I've spoken quite a bit about it. Your goals must be specific. I want to make money in 2022 is not a goal. It's not a goal. How much do you want to make? What do you want to make it for? You know, it has to be specific so that when you meet the goal, you understand you've met it. If you have to increase your goal, you know you have to. It has to be measurable, quantifiable. How much? It has to be achievable. So I can't come and tell you that, oh, they've told me to believe in myself. I will be the president of the United States by 2022. It has to be realistic, achievable, realistic, the kind of time. It has to be time-bound. And when we talk about time-bound, that's another big mistake that I see people make. You don't wait till the end of the year before you are doing review. And I think this is my last slide. We say you must treat your life as a business. You become Tumininu and Doctors Limited. I have strategy meetings with myself. I sit down, I carry paper and biro. I'm doing strategy meeting. You are doing quarterly review. You are looking at these goals that you set by yourself and you are reviewing it. You can see the picture there. You are taking magnifying glass to check it. You have your own appraisal system. How do you actually appraise your goals? Then you must have a reward system. Don't be too hard on yourself. My people of African descent, sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. You know, you're like, you come home. For those of us a little bit older, then you say, oh, mommy, I came to say, no, be your mate, come first. Don't be too hard. Celebrate your small wins. In Read, for this December, we said, please, take out time, celebrate yourself, take yourself out, go out with your friends, do things you love doing, appreciate yourself, have a reward system for yourself. If you don't appreciate yourself, nobody can the way you will. And thank you. I glossed over the last 2 slides so that I can give my coach time to go over his own slides. So thank you. This is me. See this beautiful woman, too much fineness. I celebrate myself. My name is Adepoju Tumininu. These are my handles. I like to talk. I talk to provoke change. I talk to move you out of where you are to where you should be. And I talk on a variety of topics, though my focus is on personal development and financial freedom. So feel free to ask me questions after the second slide. And if you need me to come and talk on any platform, you can reach me on any of these handles. Thank you very much for your time. Yes. Over to you, Ofem.
Wow. Oh my God. I told us this was going to be a bomb. I mean, this is fire upon amazing.
Amazing. It's just inspiring from one point of view to the other, from one note to the other, from different angles, coming in, vital information coming to us live and direct. That's what I say about Read. We give premium value, and we don't drop when it comes to the things that pertains, our audience and all of that. So we really want to say we appreciate you, ma. Honestly, what you have said, it so much resonates with a whole lot of us because we are getting into entering another phase of time, which is 2022. And these things you have mentioned are quite necessary and quite important for our everyday growth and development. So this is amazing. So I would like us to show appreciation, of course, already coming in from the chat room. Awesome, amazing, good. All right. We have Mrs. Anozeng Ogozi, one of our very own top humanitarian here in the city of Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. She said, wow, thank you, ma'am. Yes, Akinyemi, I can see you. I recognize you. We are grateful, coming from Niyi Ario. Well done, Itunu. Okay, that must be somebody that knows you personally. Let me not say more. Yeah, Bruce, I can see the fire bombing up and all of that. Okay, to every other person, excellent and inspiring. Yeah, of course. Insightful and transformative. Oh, man. In fact, what you just did to us is something else. It's something else, and this really touched me. You know, I used to be part of the school of those people of the den, where after each conversation you hear what's like, "Wow, impactful." In fact, how was it? It was fine. Ask me what I did with it after a week, after 2 weeks, and all of that. It turns out that it wasn't anything at all close to what I should be expecting, and I just let all of those information slide, and my life revolves around the same thing I've been doing over and over again, and I'm getting the same result. So that was the person I used to be before, but now, like, information that's coming in right now, it's something I will sit back, digest, go over, listen to it. Thank God we are streaming on other third-party platform like Facebook. You can go back to it and then probably take a look, take 1 or 2 looks at it again and all of that. So we want to really thank you for this opportunity that you really taken our time to share, and we look forward to having people ask questions. So please, we'll have our second speaker come up now, but we'll need you to please, so that you will not forget it. Just is either you send a question to me, to either me personally, or you send it on the group for everybody, so that we can come back to it and read your question, so that you don't get to have too many information before you start asking your question. When she was giving her presentation, if you have questions that you really want to probably get clarity on, or you want to be out of the school of thought or people that probably have yearly goals, and the goals never change. They are just the same thing year in, year out, and you've basically not seen improvement in that. I know a lot of questions when it comes to goals, because just like the first picture she narrated from her slide, if you, it might not be necessarily the person that the person they cost a penalty on is the person that's going to take the penalty. What I'm saying is relating to football. So there are a lot of questions in your mind regarding goal, and there is no way you want to achieve anything without you having a goal. If you don't have a goal, anywhere just looks like it. All right. So put down your questions and let's really have you ask those questions. Our resource persons are going to be much available and all of that. So thank you very much once again, Ma, for such a deep level of information. It's dynamic in all its formation. Thank you so much, Ma. All right, so moving on straight up, we're going to be having our second speaker come up, and we've shared his slide before. All right, we've shared his information. All right, we've shared his information. We've played it for him to see and all of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting further time, we'd like to have our second speaker who is fully loaded and ready for us. So, let's have Engineer Tunde come on board. Thank you very much. I want us to make welcome our very own second speaker. Let's show it in the chat room like we did the first time, all right? So let me have you, sir, before you say anything, I want us to probably welcome you. Yes, I can see that. Now you are giving me the vibe that I've always expected, all right? So let's have that. Let's have that. Just one person. Oh, wow, good. Second person, I can see those hands. Wow, let me count. Please, up to 10 hands. Only you. Wow, 10. Awesome, Akinyemi. Thank you very much. All right, sir. Engineer Tunde, the next voice you'll be listening to right now is a very respected man in the society. And when I read through his profile, it's something that I was wowed, as in I was wowed. Quite a big privilege to host such men of caliber, such men of great respect, dignity, and honor in our society. Men that are causing change and making impact in our time. Ladies and gentlemen, Engineer Tunde, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Ofem. And thank you, Engineer Tinu, for having me speak in this forum today. I'm really very glad. I'm really very grateful. It's a huge opportunity, and I hope that I would try my best with this opportunity I've been given. Now, I won't take too much of your time. Tinu has said most of what I was going to say, and that is without us talking to one another before the session. So that saves me a lot of work. So now I try one thing when I am invited to talk in sessions like this, or anyone, to just trust God that the people will live with just one thing, not too many things. Don't bother writing, you need the slides. I don't know who is in charge of the media, or you could project my slides, or if you want me to project from this thing, I don't know, whichever one. So, but there's no need for you to write. I'm sure the slides are with someone, I think Sister Kike or so. So generally, I try one thing and I pray, desire one thing, that you live with just one thing, not too many things. I spend hours and days listening to Audible nonstop, and sometimes I do 3 hours, nothing really strong to move me to another level in life. Sometimes something jumps in and it changes everything. I usually say to people, for some things I do right now, somehow in part with the Lagos state government, and when people ask me about change, I say, if you know what it means to change, it is like moving the sea when it comes to government. But it's not different from our individual lives. Change doesn't just, sometimes you read plenty, you read a lot of stuff on a particular subject for which you really desire something different to happen. But you don't really get that edge or that aha moment in just an instant. Sometimes you go days, weeks. But one of the things I will tell you, none of that effort is wasted. Sometimes you really need all of that effort that you are not getting anything. At least you are eliminating what you don't need. And that is, it's my prayer that you will pick just one thing, just one sentence. Because if the sentence is too long, you will not remember it. Just one phrase from the first speaker, the second speaker, from the comments on the chat room, from the moderator. Sometimes inspiration comes from sources we least expect. So what I'm saying, what I'm going to say is a continuation of where Tinu stopped. Maybe say it in different ways. None of them is right, none of them is wrong. But it's a way we try to use language to convey information. Now, I wrote a book, Realizing Mental Resilience, which the summary of what the book says in the 36 chapters is that all of your experiences in life is created by you. All of your experience. It has nothing to do with what you thought was happening in the outside. You're having challenges with your place of work. The source can only come from one place. It can only come from the way you kind of interpret life. All mental stress is a disconnect between what you thought life should be and what you are actually experiencing in life. All mental stress. We live in that space between expectation and what is real to us. So it doesn't, this is not what I signed for. Yeah, it's because you are a thinking organism. You are thinking. Now, I've started speaking, to borrow again from engineer Tinu. So I'm a bit also not too structured. Now, the topic I've been given is developing your uniqueness, developing your uniqueness. Now, Tinu already covered the topic for me, to be honest with you. Now, what is unique about you? I mean, when I saw the topic, I said, this is very simple now. We all have different DNA. What else do they want me to talk about? So if we all have different DNA, then we are manifesting differently. But it so happens that DNA is not the only thing responsible for our differences. Our history, where we have lived, the environment that shaped us. When I say the environment that shaped us, the environment didn't shape us by trying to direct our lives. The environment didn't do that. What happened is that we extracted meaning from the environment. So I'm in Lagos, I'm speaking from Lagos, Nigeria today now. And 2003, 2004, I was an MBA student, University College Dublin. I was in a different environment. Then I worked in Ireland for about 4 or 5 years. Then I'm back to Nigeria. So the environment that surrounds me, I'm constantly extracting information. So life is an internal experience mistaken for an external one. Life is an internal experience mistaken for an external one. We make the mistake to think that the boss is offending us. We make the mistake to think that the spouse is offending us. What is really offending us is not the boss, it's not the spouse. It's the disconnect between what we thought, how we thought the boss should have related with us, and how we are really experiencing it. So we have these layers of beliefs. When I say that the DNA is not all that defines our uniqueness, what I'm saying is that over time you have these layers of beliefs that begin to cover who you really are. They cover who you really are to an extent that sometimes you don't even know what you are again. You don't really know. Now, so knowledge could be funny. I am at a stage in my life where it is like my growing right now means that I need to unlearn. I'm at a stage where I'm unlearning. Can you imagine that? That going to the next stage means I need to now reduce some of the load. Because to borrow from Marshall Goldsmith, what brought you here will not take you there. What brought you here? Now, sometimes we start out life in primary school, and like Sister Tumi said, and our parents are saying, why did you carry fourth? The other people who took first and third, do they have better brains? So we are competitive. So our parents can engineer us to such an extent where we become naturally competitive. Now that competitiveness is good, but to some extent, to borrow from Marshall Goldsmith again, what brought you here won't take you there. Now that competitiveness can propel you to the first place in class. It can propel you to do great things. It can propel you to get first class. Now, but the limit of that competitiveness comes when, for whatever reason, you get married tomorrow, you forget that you are in a marriage relationship and you are still being competitive. You are working in a company and you are a member of a team. You forget that as a member of a team, you should work collaboratively. And when you get to that, what has really happened, you have lost, you have forgotten that what brought you here will not take you further. So when I say I'm in a stage where my growth is coming from unlearning what I know, my growth is coming from unlearning what I know. So usually in coaching, one of the things they say in coaching classes, don't let what you know be in the way of where you are going to. Don't let what you know be in the way of where you are going to. Now, why is that statement profound? Because many times it is what you know that is stopping you from doing something about your life. I mean, Sister Tumininu has just finished speaking on setting goals for 2022, expanding your horizon. Now, for some of us, probably not in this session, probably outside here, what they are thinking of, now, Engineer Tumi can say that she's a regional manager with MTN, so she doesn't know she's lucky. Now, my second book is in the pipeline. Already I have a good number of others, and I pray it comes out March 2022. However you tell it, it is a story that you made up. No matter how you tell the story of what is limiting you, it is a story that you made up. If I recall chapter 1 of the book, he talked about two ladies that I interviewed, two twin sisters from the University of Benin, where I finished from, and talking to two of them, and they are both talking about their parents, father and mother. One is saying that, oh, the father and mother are terrible. She has no remembrance, 4 years schooling in the University of Benin, of ever eating a decent meal. She has no recollection. Now, but I talked to the twin sister. She says her parents are fantastic. But for the sacrifice they made, they were not supposed to even be in secondary school, let alone attend the University of Benin. So I remember 2 months ago, I was speaking at the redemption camp in Lagos, and I said, which of these two persons is telling the truth? They are talking about the same parents. Now, the reality is that they are both telling the truth, but the truth they are telling is not about their parents. The truth they are telling is about the experience of their parents, how they experience their parents. The stories they are telling has nothing, when I mean nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the father and mother. So remember the phrase I used earlier on, life is an internal experience mistaken for an external one. There is this story that Anthony Robbins told in his book, Awakening the Giant. Now, two brothers from the same father and the same mother. One is GM of a telecoms company in the US, and the other one is a drunkard. When Anthony Robbins interviewed the one that is a drunkard, what do you think is responsible for how you are performing in life right now? The guy said, well, my father was a drunkard, an alcoholic. He got home every night, had my mother beating, and that is what I saw growing up. So if you see what my life is today, it is just that I inherited my father's traits. Well, Anthony Robbins says, it explains part of his story, but it doesn't say all, unless the brother didn't grow up. So he goes to the brother tells the same story, that what I am today came from my parents. He said, my father was a drunkard and alcoholic who came every evening and had my mother well beaten up. He said, and every time I saw my father beating my mother, I always said, I will never be like this man. That singular thing is what defines where you are going in life. I will never be like this man. Now, is the external environment the same? The answer is yes. Is the beliefs that interpreted the external environment the same? The answer is no. Now, it is the beliefs that drive our actions, that drive our life. So it has nothing to do with the parents. So I am privileged these days to talk to teenagers, to talk in secondary and primary schools. You are responsible. I was reading an article recently, and the guy who is now serving a jail term in the United States, he said he raped a woman in the United States to punish his dad. Can you imagine that? Now, if you've never been in that kind of way of interpreting life, it will look strange to you. But sometimes you just see children. The reason they want to fail mathematics to be able to say something, to get something bad, or it's a rebellion against their father. is the reason they want to fail exam. But life catches up later on and they find out that the stories they were telling, however you tell the story, it is a story that you made up. Now we are all unique. That uniqueness, like I said, doesn't even only come from, if you are in charge of the media, I don't think I have the power to do it. You can go to the next slide. It doesn't only come from our DNA, it also comes from our beliefs. It comes to our own unique way of looking at life. Now, the purpose of the next book I'm writing right now, I think I'm in chapter 28 right now. However you tell it is a story that you made up. What is it that you are not doing right now? No, it is not what you think is stopping you. Anything you are not doing right now, the story you are talking, the story you are giving is a story that you made up. It's a story that you made up. Now, always know that. What is it that is going to stop you from implementing some of the things that Engineer Tinu was talking about? It's a story that you made up. I have no father. I have nobody to help me. I have nobody to push me. I don't have the connection. It's all stories that you made up. The day you decide to get up, the person to stop you is not yet born. The circumstance that can stop you is not yet born. One of my friends that I talk about him a lot is the current he's a commissioner in the Lagos State Cabinet right now. Sometimes we say to me, Tunde, so you worked in the power sector for nearly 10 years. So why didn't you get your own power license? Oh, there was once I was in his office, I said, you know, the amount of money just to get the license. He said, however you tell it, it's a story that you made up. If the story is about limitation, it's a story that you made up. Why are you not running for the presidency of Nigeria? They will not allow young people. It's a story that you made up. It doesn't exist. It's you that came up with the story now of that limitation. They don't allow people that come from certain parts of the world to do certain things. No, there is nowhere, there is no part of the world that you come from that you cannot do anything. But to quote from Patutomi, who lectured me when I attended Lagos Business School some 20 years ago, he said, identity that we give ourselves, I am from Borno State, I am from Ibadan. He said identity is a vehicle by which we move from point A to B. It's a vehicle we enter, but we are not that identity. We are spirit beings. Every human being is a spirit. We are spirit beings. So there is no identity that can limit us. Identity is just a vehicle. Now, if the vehicle you are in is not taking you to where you want to go, come down from that vehicle. Identity is made up. Identity is made up. Every limitation is a made-up story. If that's the only thing you get out of what I will be speaking on in the next, I think I have about 15 minutes left. Every limitation. Now, to really function in your unique calling and attain the optimum that life has for you, what you need to do is to begin to peel the layers of identity. Peel the layers of identity. So I said, I'm talking of my fourth course, I'm in chapter 26. Now, every chapter is talking about a particular story that people tell, why they are not in business. In a coaching session recently, I'm coaching somebody who is, by all means, she's a director in a company in Ikoyi, Lagos, Nigeria. But she's trying to explain to me why she could do more if she was the daughter of a governor, if she was this. And coaching will usually tell you, tell me the things that you can do if you were the daughter of a governor. Now you will say it. Now coaching will now show you how that the reason you are not doing the thing is a story that you have made up. So I was reading an article, Harvard Business Review, which I used in a session I had with GlaxoSmithKline Lagos here recently. And the lady says, the job that coaches do is to help people disrupt their narrations, their stories, because we use these stories to move. Somebody asked me recently in a question and answer session, can we do without stories? And I said, absolutely no. We cannot do without stories. But the thing, I have, Tunde Ekpekurede, the profile of me or the information about me that was read out at the beginning, is a story of me. It's one of several stories that are possible. That's not the only story of me. It's one of several stories. Now, when I write a CV, that is one story about me. But it's a story I have chosen because of where I want to go to. Now, the tragedy in life is that many people are not aware that they are the one telling the story. So they think that life is limiting them, circumstance is limiting them, the boss is limiting them, the spouse is limiting them, money is limiting them, connections that they don't have. I was talking with a friend about 3 hours ago from Delta State, and I said, connections are overrated. That the people who tell stories, they have no man. You know the guy. If you are a student of the Bible, I'm a very low student. There was this guy who was sitting by the pool of Bethesda. Jesus said, "Do you want to be made whole?" Is that not a simple question? The answer is yes or no. Now, but he goes on to tell a story. There are many of us, after we would have heard everything about the goals, seen all those audacious goals from people like Bill Gates, Netflix, and all that, then we won't take a step. And if you ask us, we have a story to tell. And the story is, I don't have any man to push me in. No man pushes anybody anywhere. I'll tell you that for free. Nobody. People, as you grow, you will have friends, you will have acquaintances. But all of them comes out of your activity. If you want to increase the level of your friends, you are in this session right now. One of the secrets I can just give you for free without any extra charge. What we are doing now, it doesn't matter whether you want to be public speaking or you don't want to be public. It has nothing. Engineer Tumininu said she talked naturally. I was the reverse. It's unbelievable if you knew me secondary university that I should be talking now to anybody. But it has just come out of a desire to help people. Now, what am I saying? Try to teach anything that you know today from this seminar to people that you think need it. Try. Now, I've been doing what I'm doing now for quite a number of years, but I did it for nearly 10 years part-time. I was a director with ABB Power Lines Nigeria. And I would just every week take the staff. It was based on case studies I used in University College Dublin. I would just photocopy the same case studies. And I used them. I've spoken to loads of people with NYC. I've been invited to the prisons to talk to the prisoners, to help them peel the layers of the narratives of their life that brought them to prison. And I'm trusting God in 2022. I want to do more of speaking to prisoners, engaging people whose stories about life have put them in prison. Now, all limitation is a story that you created. What you need to do is come down from that story. Just get out of it. Let me look at the time. Let me be sure that, okay, I'm supposed to stop. Okay, 6:40, it's already. So what you need to do is come out of that story. So Engineer Tumininu was talking about goal setting and what you need to do. Okay, let me just read from the slides. There is absolutely nothing wrong with creating an identity. However, you need to ask yourself, is this vehicle taking me where I need to go? The quote from Marshall Goldsmith, what brought you here can't take you there. Now, it's a famous case study with a lot of MBA schools. Now, remind yourself of your uniqueness. Now, like I said, your uniqueness has been covered by layers of stories. Stories, if you told the story of being fatherless in primary school and it attracted some sympathy, it was good for a time. You enter a train from London to Glasgow, but you know you are going to stop in Manchester. Please come down at Manchester. Don't continue to Glasgow. So you need to come down at a point in the train of the stories you tell. So you told a story at a particular time, and that story has outlived its usefulness. And I'll tell you, every story has a shelf life. The story that will make me president of Nigeria tomorrow has a shelf life. After being president, I need to tell another story. So maybe you've been telling one story, but one of the things people mistake about personality, they think personality is a fixed stature. Personality is just like steel. I am born an introvert. I am born this. No, you were not born anything. You were born a spirit. There's nothing. Everything else is something that you began to put on yourself, either by way of identity. I'm from Obomosho. I am from Warri. I am from here. You put the identity. See, if identity is limiting you, drop the identity. There are times where identity will help you. Sometimes, I remember after I finished my MBA, there was this Protestant Catholic clash in Northern Ireland. They wanted somebody that was neither a Protestant nor Catholic to come in a particular committee to serve in this thing. I volunteered and I was there. And I was just wondering, how did I get here? No, there is an opportunity for somebody who is neither. I am neither of both faiths that are constantly fighting. I am also not even Irish. So it worked in my favor. So when you see, learn the habit of constantly changing your identity. Look for what works for you. Steve Chandler says, the lazy man will keep his identity and break a promise. But the man who knows that he's a spirit, he will break his identity and keep his promise. Because Paul had to say somewhere, he said, look, I have become all things to all men. I can be anything. Paul in the Bible, in case you are not of the Christian faith. In one time, he was standing before, I can't remember, that was King Agrippa. He said, look, I am a Pharisee. He said, and I'm being persecuted for the faith. When he got to another city, he changed his mind that he was a Jew, he's not a Pharisee. He changed identity several times. Why? Because non-identity is a dress you wear. If you have worn the dress all your life that you're an introvert, possibly it's time to pull that dress down. Is it serving you? That's the only question I ask, either in coaching or in speaking. Is the story serving you? Now, there are times you ask about something. Oh, you are going for a job interview. You go and find the background about the company. And you say, this is the story that will sell. That is the story. So you tell that story. Now, because like I said, what has just been read about me is just one. I remember two of my staff that followed me in a training I did for GSK Pharmaceutical. They say they've been working for me for years. But that these stories I told about my life, they've never heard them. I said, you can never hear them. Even me who's telling it, I can never hear all of them. So, well, I want to quickly, next slide, please. If you are controlling the slide, just go to the next. Next, deal with your story. Now, is your story helping you peel the layers of identity? When you peel the layers of identity, you are going to be left with somebody with infinite potential. Infinite potential, that is what you are going to be left with. Now, when you find out that, Solomon said something, King Solomon in Proverbs, he said, the sluggard says there's a lion in the way, I will be killed. Now, what a lion really does when a lion is on the way is that it makes you be afraid. It makes you a coward. Now, but Solomon didn't call this guy a coward. He said he was a sluggard. So one of the things I want to say to you today, goals, however big, however small, they are meaningless without action. One of the things you need to take out from me, if it is relevant to your life, you are going to take massive action concerning anything you want to do. Whether it's to sell pure water, whether it's to kill flies. Look, I've just found out that if you do something long enough, you become an expert in it. You'll be fine. If it is to kill flies, before you know, you are speaking on CNN on how to kill flies. Now, but to get to that place, you are going to have to take massive action. To quote Tony Robbins, you are going to take disproportionate action to kill the stories that you have told all these years. Professor Rosabeth Moskanta, in one of her articles, she's a lecturer in Harvard University, 10 reasons, you can Google it, I'm sure the article is free on hbro.org. 10 reasons people resist change. Even when you know that this story is killing you. Look, think of some of the stories that you have told in your life. and you see the ones you need to get rid of. Write them down. Why am I not doing this? A story. Why am I doing a story? Look at the story. Is this reason? Is this story taking me to where I want to go? Look, in one of the chapters of the book I'm writing now, I wrote it for myself. You can create any story at any time. You can create any story. Life is an internal experience mistaken for an external one. For 2022 to be different from 2021, you are going to take massive action. You can't avoid that. Massive action. Look, when I say connection is overrated, some years ago, I renovated the diplomatic quarters of the US Embassy. Now, how did I get there? I wrote it in one of the chapters of the book. So I was just throwing my cards everywhere in Lagos, throwing my card to whoever, writing introductory letters. I am this, I'm a contractor, I am that. And well, so I'm glad somebody has posted the article, 10 Reasons Why People Resist Change on the chat forum. So the US Embassy called me one day and they gave me a fence to build. I built the fence, they liked it. They said I should do another one, they liked it. Then they called me when they acquired a lot of buildings in Abuja, I should go and do the renovation. And one day I sat down and looked at almost everything I've done. None of them came by reason I was sitting down that I know Buhari. And to this day, so why am I here today? Someday, Engineer Tunde saw that I do this thing and she connected. I connect with people too. So you have to put yourself out there. You have to say what you do. You have to say, I am going to take action no matter how. Look, irrespective, there's a course I'm doing right now, and I do it monthly, creating the impossible. To create anything that before now has been dubbed impossible. Whatever that impossibility means in your life is up to you. To create it just means that you are going to take, I think it's step number 5, you are going to take massive action. You are going to take not small action, I mean massive action on that goal. I was what you would term, okay, 2001, I had my first free ride to the United States. I've never traveled to Benin Republic. I've never been to a border in Nigeria up to that time. And I was living in a kind of distressed suburb in Lagos. But one of the things that I look at has helped me in life, knowledge. I read a lot, I read newspapers. So then the US Embassy organizes these quarterly seminars on the political dialogue in Nigeria. So I attended one of them. And I was living Victoria Island Institute of International Affairs. And somebody said, look, they are writing names. I said, all these seminars, I attend them every week, plenty all over. So long as they are free, that's only, I pay for seminars. Now, at that time, I was too broke to afford a seminar of 1,000 naira or $10. Once it's free, I am there. Once it's free, I'm there because I was self-employed. So I attended the seminar, and the next thing they said they're writing, I wrote my name, wrote my address, and I hurried to the bus stop to catch a bus out of the island to the mainland, to Ekpekurede, where I was staying. And the next thing, a month later, I saw this courier guy in the office location I filled, 10 Unity Road, Ikeja. And he said he came to deliver this. I looked at the back of the envelope, the Embassy of the United States. And I opened it, there's a letter in it. The ambassador wants to thank you for attending so and so seminar. And the ambassador is pleased to invite you as one of his delegates to Chicago in April. I told the girl who was my secretary then, she lives in London now. I said, Amen. If I need to die in London, in Chicago, I will die there. I signed. 3 days later, another letter again. I should come to the embassy to pick a visa. Now, but there are so many people who will still tell stories. Now, I'm totally out of my time. I don't want to, look, I need to go to the next slide. I hate to outrun this thing. Okay, Michael Neal, when we can see that our experience is always coming from our own mind, we no longer experience ourselves at the mercy of the world. That is one of the places I want to leave you with. Now, the constant variable in creativity, anything you want to achieve is your thinking, your imagination. Next slide. It has nothing to do with the environment. I'll tell you that. It is important that you get clear for yourself that your only access to impacting life is action when ahead. When I actually had is a guy I respect massively. He's 86 or 87 years in the US, old now. He's a US citizen, and you will enjoy loads of his videos. Next slide. The same wind blows all of us, the winds of disaster, opportunity, and change. Therefore, it is not the blowing of the wind, but the setting of the sails that will determine our direction in life. So a pilot leaves Lagos and going to London. It is not the winds that will determine where the plane is going to land. What will really determine is where the pilot has set the gauge to. And that's what we just finished on goal setting. Where have you set the gauge of your life to? It is never too late to be what you might have become or been. George Eliot. Next slide. So I don't know how to magnify the words there. If you can, let me see, I don't know. Well, it's a quote from William Hutchinson on his experience in the Scottish expedition. And he was saying that, I say, but when I said nothing had been done, I erred in one important matter. We had definitely committed ourselves and were halfway out of the ruts. We had put down our passage money, booked a sailing to Bombay, India. This may sound very simple and of no consequence, but here is what I have learned in life. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, the chance to ineffectiveness. Now, concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth. Now you've changed it. My time is up. All right. Okay. Well, William Hutchinson was saying is that until you are committed, there is always a time to renege on what you want to be in life. Now, like I said, you are a spirit. You can be anything. Don't be limited by any. Look. I don't want to go to the difference between environmental DNA and the DNA you create. You are a spirit, you can wear any vehicle. Like Paul, today I'm a Roman, tomorrow I'm not a Roman. Today I'm a Jew, tomorrow I'm not a Jew. Here he has become all things. You are all things. Is the story you are telling helping you? It's only you that can answer that. If it's not, look, pull down the close of that story. We are a new one. And I will tell you, there is a lot of this thing. I can teach you how to write stories very well. Next slide. Next slide. 5 minutes, I'm up. Okay, Anthony Robbins, 3 self-achievement. Next slide, just go on. Next, let me see. I am done. Next slide. Okay, I'm done. If you have any question, ask. Thank you very much. Okay, you can take over. The host can take over the.
Wow, this is just something else. Honestly speaking, this is just so this is something else. Honestly, we must have heard it in fact, can I say this is me? Is this me? Wow. Oh my God. How? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can't really contain my joy right now. Honestly speaking, I just really can't. This is much. This is plenty. This is a load. As in, this is a load. This is massive. As in, sir, what you just did, you shifted perspective. You redefine narratives, and a lot of things are just being put together, and we have this is just something else. Honestly speaking, I for one, I've really over time looked at a lot of things, and it's just so amazing that at this point of the year and at this time in our lives, this information is coming handy. And I just know that it's all about stories. Wow, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I want to see it in the chat room. I really want to see it. Show your expression to what we have just heard, because this is something else. I don't know if anybody is feeling the vibe the way I'm really feeling it. Honestly, this is just something else. This is something else. Everything. So, well, it's time for questions. All right, it's time for questions. Yes. Wow, I can see those words dropping in. Hot. Wow, a lot of claps, a lot of. I believe if we are to have this on a physical location, we'll have a lot of standing and a shout and a clap ovation for this awesome and dynamic piece we just received from you, sir. Thank you so much. All right, so I've really not seen any question here. Does that mean we don't really have any question? Our audience from Facebook, you can as well drop your questions and we would have those questions taken here. Our facilitators, our speakers are still very much available. So we'd like you to do us this and drop your questions. Let's have questions. Or do we just want to, just like one of the key points, take action, not just action, big action, massive action. All right. Our coach spoke about SMART goals. We need to combine these two things. You can't be normal after such information. No, as in not normal, as in I'm saying you are normal. What I mean is your state of mind, your thinking, your capacity to define a lot of narratives is being redefined in different views and in different ways. And however you want to tell your stories is up to you. All right, it's up to you. So let's really have those questions. I'm not seeing any question here. Anybody with question? Anybody with question, please. Let's take this opportunity. You may, getting to meet them one-on-one is something that you need to pay highly for, right? But on this platform, we have provided them not for free. Of course, it has to take some of your time and all of that. But again, we need to understand that they are here for now. But if you want to meet them one-on-one, you have to pay money. You pay something. You pay a whole lot. All right. We wouldn't want you to do that. So that's why we are giving you this opportunity right now to ask these questions. To ask this question. If you don't have any question, me, I want to go. Do you understand? I want to go and really answer. To be honest, we really can't wait for that book to come out. I saw it in the bio you gave. I saw the cover of the book and I'm already in love with it. Now that you have even given us a tip of what is contained. Hey God. Thank you so much, sir. Honestly, this is me being excited. This is on behalf of Reed. This is us being excited. So well, I can't see any question here. I really can't see. I know it's not my network. My network did not do anyhow today. This is not my network at all. All right. Okay, sir. Personally, I want to ask. I really want to ask. This thing has really been bothering me for quite some time now, and I need clarity on this. It's basically about goals. What would you do after telling a lot of stories? Of course, just like you have said, after telling a lot of stories, but in all the steps you have taken, and the goals are still not, the results are basically not coming in. What would you say? I don't know, any of our speakers can take that. What would you say is basically the cause, or maybe I should say the issue? I've written goals, I've taken steps that I feel are necessary to achieving them, and I put them in the best way I think I can make them happen, probably using the SMART principle and all of that. And yet, they are still, the result didn't come in. They were not commensurable to what I had expected. So what do you think might be the cause, sir? Engineer Tunde, please. Then Ma, our coach, can take that up also after now.
Well, it is not that I know everything, nor do I expect that there's anybody that knows everything. But I can tell you, if you follow the principles, you can get the book Creating the Impossible by Michael Neal. He's an American. And Michael Neal, I follow him religiously. Creating the Impossible. Now, there is nothing that you will not achieve with massive action. The goal is let's say 5% of what you need. Now, you need to take massive action. A lot of people have dreams that are lying on the shelf, goals. They don't do anything. Now, when you take massive action, I'll tell you the truth. I left Nigeria to do an MBA 2003, 2004, University College on just a shoestring of about 2,000 euros from everything I could sell and get. But I will tell you, he not only finished, about 2 years later, I think I've used mortgage to buy two houses. Now, I took massive action on an article I read, how to bungle your way through MBA. That's all. Am I the only one that read it? No, other people read it too. But it may work here. It may work in this climb. Now, there is no, look, if when you take action, if I start telling you stories here, it's only the stories that will help you get of actions that I've taken and the persons the actions brought me in contact with in different countries of the world. But it didn't come. I mean, I finished MBA. I think I was one of the first 3 people post MBA to get a job in Ireland. And I have not finished. I have not submitted project. I already had an official vehicle with which I finished the program as a foreigner. Now it came by taking massive action. I don't know, watch some videos of Anthony Robbins on YouTube, taking massive action. Disproportionate. Now, if you are living in your thoughts, I always say something, action trumps thinking. To quote Wenade Ehad, the world doesn't care what you think. The world doesn't care what you're planning to do. The world cares about is what they see you do. Thank you very much. Sorry, am I still online?
Hello, Ofem, your audio is off.
Oh.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
yes, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, there's a question here. What if you set goals for yourself and you don't have people around you that motivate you to fulfill these goals? All right, I would like Coach to take that, please. What if you set goals for yourself and you don't have people around you that motivate you to fulfill this goal? I believe the person is asking, what should you do?
Okay, as we said.
Hello, ma, did you get that?
Yes, I got that. If you set goals for yourself and the people around you do not motivate you to get the goals, you break your network. I would start from where Uncle Tunde stopped, that it has to be deliberate, very, very deliberate, because honestly, and I'll probably chat with the person after this, when it comes to the law of network, I say personally, for me, I think it's one of the strongest laws when it comes to growth. And the environment we are in right now, I believe that this is the best generation to be born in. Your network doesn't necessarily have to be your next door neighbor anymore. You leverage on technology to create like minds. I've never seen Uncle Tunde before. I might never see him. It's highly possible. 90% of the people we've had on Read, I've never met them one-on-one. But we leverage on technology to ensure that we create quality network. So one of the first things you have to do is actually identify those goals, identify people that are doing amazing things in that goal, and you network with them. You look at platforms like LinkedIn, for instance. LinkedIn is a platform that connects professionals. So the kind of people you want to attract will equally determine the kind of places you put your time on and where you stay. By default, because of things that I personally want to achieve in my life. It's not like I deliberately wanted to do it, but there are some old friends that we can't just even hang out anymore. In fact, one of them was teasing me the last time I saw her, and she was saying that I hope will not be feeling form now to see you. I'm strategic about what I want to achieve. Beginning of this year, I wanted to change my finances. And one of the things I started doing was I started identifying. Now, change my finances. I'm not just changing my finances. I was strategic on how I wanted to change it. It's not just about getting money. How I get the money was very important to me. So I started identifying people that had my kind of goals. There were people that felt like, oh, my goals were outrageous. So it's fine. It is my goal. It's not your goal. So you can get your own goals. It's fine. You know, I've learned not to make mockery of anybody's goals. But my own goals, I know what I wanted. Last month on Read, we had Mayowa, and I was telling them that for Mayowa, it was a strategic alliance. Immediately, I heard him talk once. I did that, guy, you don't have choice. So, he didn't know what he's saying. We became friends. And that was the same way I connected with Uncle Tunde. I was privileged to be somewhere where Uncle Tunde was last year. Uncle Tunde and I collected way back since last year. And I courteously approached him, sir, when you finish speaking, you know, now everybody's saying, wow, 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 that is him for you. You know, I told him, I actually bossed him today. We hadn't spoken before now. And I bossed him. I said, sir, they say I should come and talk after you. I will now be saying the first speaker said that. But no, now let me talk first then. You can come in because it's just an amazing person full of so much knowledge. But I strategically connected with him. Immediately I looked at his profile. I knew that he had something that would move me to my next level. And I had to take action. As he said, I had to connect with him. I had to send emails. There was a time Tunde permitted me to share the story. I think I sent like 3-4 emails, no response. I kept sending. I said, okay, maybe if I send every week, it will be as if I'm dogging him. Let me make it interval. But I'm strategic. Next month, and this is a bit of an advert for you can't meet next month's webinar. We're having Paul 4 come to talk to us. Paul 4 is among the, I would say, first 10% marketers in Nigeria. I am strategic about the people in my network. So once I see that when I talk to you, my goal is going down, it is not fight. I just reduce the time I'm spending with you. And sisterly, there are over 7 billion people in this world. Why would you stay with people that are demotivating you? There are plenty of people to push you up. So I hope that has been able to help. Use social media and consciously move away from people that demotivate you. It's a big dream killer. I've said very big.
Oh.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Ma. This is deep, and one of the picks for me is how the both of you bring real life narrations to the very thing you have been explaining. All right, I can see question popping in. We have. Please, you can just mute your mic if you are not speaking. Thank you. All right. Sir, there's a question here for you.
Okay,
if you say,
go on. I've seen the question. Is it if you work in an enterprise? Is that?
There's one before, but you can just take that.
Okay, no, read the one before. Where's the one before? Read it. I can't see it.
It was sent to me personally, sir.
Okay, read it out.
All right. If you have, okay, let me copy and then drop. Yes, I just dropped it now. If you say someone can change identity, is that not like being unstable? Someone is asking. Okay.
Well, the answer to that is straightforward, but you'll find more of it. Just in some of my articles online, usually I have a mailing list that read my articles, my weekly articles. You will see a lot of free articles on identity. Now, if identity is a vehicle, and you say that changing the vehicle, you want to stay in a vehicle from Abuja to Sokoto, just because you don't want to come down? Is it Sokoto you are going to, or you are going to Maiduguri? So the first thing is, where are you going to? It's you that define that. To like the Jinron or whatever, what Engineer Tumi has shared. Where have you set your sail? What is the goal? If you are going to Maiduguri and you are in a vehicle going to Sokoto, you better come down. Maybe there is a junction somewhere, but you need to come down. So it has nothing to, it doesn't make you unstable. My page on social media. Okay, I will drop my email by which I could give you more information. Now you say, first I want to add something to what Engineer Tumi said too, on the person who says that if you are surrounded by people who cannot motivate you, with all due respect, just drop that story. There is nothing. Now, if life is an internal experience mistaken for an external one, nobody can demotivate you. Nobody, zero. You have to take the belief. You have to take something that somebody is saying to you, not even a father, not a mother. Now, besides, you are not a fixed stature. If the environment is so intimidating that, look, it terrorizes you, then move out of that environment, straight on. Then you say, I work in an enterprise environmental where senior colleagues demotivate you. Now, I will tell you that I did a seminar recently dealing with difficult bosses, and it's based on our interpretation of life. Now, there is a lot of materials in my book, Realizing Mental Resilience. Now, that is, you are interpreting a kind of behavior. Now, the behavior could really be antagonizing. You know how this thing is, this science is taught in primary schools in the US. A plus B is equal to C. A is the activity, B is the belief, and C is the consequence. A, you have nothing to do with. You have nothing, you can't do anything about that. You are living in Nigeria, living in the UK. If you are living there, you are living there. But you can change the beliefs that don't make people go forward in that environment. That's what you can change, you can recreate anything. You look, if I go story of how to recreate an identity within a company, you can recreate the identity such that the impact of that negative behavior is zeroed, is diminished. I have a friend right now, and I reside in Nigeria and I still reside partly in the UK. In Kent, where I live, the vice chairman is a Liberian in his early 30s. This is a guy who came to the UK, no job, when I talk about massive action. But he was just looking for anything to do. Now, he went to the Conservative Party office in Chatham, where I live, inside Kent, and he was just going on errands for politicians. Then the member of the British Parliament, a member of the British Parliament from Kent resigned suddenly. Rather than election, the Conservative Party decided that the council chairman in Chatham should move to London. They now said the vice chairman should become this. Among these white guys, who will be the vice chairman without election? As I talk to you, this young Liberian is the vice chairman. I go for Rotary meetings and you see English people, 70-something years. When he comes in, 30-something-year-old guy, we all stand up. He's the vice chairman. Now, how did he get there? He told me once I went to his house. He says, Tunde, why are you avoiding the conservative meetings? He said, just come. Before you know, you are in parliament. A lot of people never take action. My prayer for you is that 2022 will be a different story with the actions that you will take. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Because of time and a lot of other activities that we have promised people that we're going to do, we'd like to bring this to an end. I want you to, is there any question I've not taken here? I think I've really taken them. And for the emphasis, I think both speakers have dropped that. Thank you very much for making your email. All right, so the details to our speaker is right here on our chat platform. So please look through it, copy his number, take his email, and then, of course, you know, you will not be doing back and forth in probably correspondence and all of that. So I will advise that what you do is put your thoughts together so that when you're sending a mail, you know it's just coming once, and probably when correspondence come, you know how to start the conversation from there. And of course, his number is there. You can pick it up. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much, sir, for this timely thought. So for me, I would draw the curtain here. It's been an amazing time having to pilot this conversation between two amazing, I call them icons of great, inestimable value in our community and in our societies, causing diverse and different levels of change everywhere around the world, not just in our immediate community, and we can really feel their impact. So thank you very much on behalf of everyone on the global community of the READ platform. Before I drop this for our coach to send her, take it up from here, please do well to follow up on our social media platforms, all right? On Facebook at read.ngr and on Instagram at read.ngr. And also, you could also check us up at LinkedIn, all right? Read NGR at LinkedIn. Thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel Kingsley, Ofem. So over to you, Coach.
Okay, so I think we've said it all without wasting any more of our time. From READ community, this is our last webinar for the year 2021 has come to a close, and it has been awesome because every one of you has been part of it. Thank you once more, Uncle Tunde. Thank you, everybody. I think Uncle Tunde had actually closed it, so let me just close it on that note. Please go and take action. Everything you've heard in the past 7 months, go take action. And Happy New Year in advance. Let's unmute our mics and greet ourselves. Say bye-bye, everybody, and Happy New Year in advance.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Stay safe, stay
Happy New
safe, stay
Year.
safe.
Merry
Bye.
Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Have
you,
lots of
everyone.
fun.